Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. And of course, Happy New Year. And finally, we've made it to 2025. 24 was a crazy year for pageants. We saw so many amazing pageants. We saw scary moments, funny moments, weird moments. And that leaves us to understand what's going to happen in 2025. This is a brief, fun discussion Guru and I are going to do today to discuss what is going to happen in the world of pageantry, what we really want to see, and what we can expect, and what we probably will not see as well. So there's so much to go on. Let Guru start off by telling us, well, how did it feel in 2024, and what is 2025, according to you, going to be like?
You know, um, I think we are at a point of inflection when it comes to pageantry. We've seen the highs, the lows. The pageant systems that were way up there have somehow lost their way.
Yeah.
Things which are more materialistic, showy, but not having the essence of pageantry uh, is gaining momentum. So, Emma and I really want to discuss the next half an hour in trying to redefine what pageantry should be. And if we had to, for example, have our own pageant one day, what would be those elements that would make a true pageant fan wow? So, Emma, this is a
Absolutely.
quite fireside chat, and it's our first of 2025. So, let me ask you this. What do you think should be the core or the essence of pageantry?
After saying very good question, there's so much to elements that make a good pageant, and I think we say this a lot in our show. What we saw in 2025, there was a bit of everything in all the pageants. Like Cosmo coming up, we saw a new format where it was talked to. So I love that. That format can be put into pageants. Then, of course, MGI, because the MGI way of organizing a show, a production, a stage presence was fantastic. That's the glitz and glamour you want to see of a pageant, of any pageant. So you want to see an opening number, you want to see choreography, you want to see the fun. You know, um, this is what pageant fans want to see: evening gown rounds, swimsuit rounds. You don't omit one or the other ever. Okay, and yes. Fantastic judging. You need to see a judging panel. You need to see what's going on. And I miss one thing, Guru. I think you and I have said a lot. The scores should be shown on screen while the pageant goes on, so it gives a lot of people justifiable reasons to be happy with whatever queen is chosen that year. And we saw a little ups and downs when queens were chosen, and people were like, okay, why her? Why her? So I don't like it when that happens. We have our favorites. So I wish in an overall, I guess I think 20% of each of the pageant had something that was spot on, but messed up big time otherwise. Are we going to see? Do you think with new pageants, again, we have a promising pageant probably coming up this year is Miss Multinational from good old Nikhil Anand, after he has got off the MGI bandwagon. What is going to happen? Do you have any idea, Guru? Do you think you have your desires would be fulfilled in some way in what Nikhil Anand is planning to do now with Miss Multinational?
I think, first of all, congratulations to Nikhil Anand and his team to show bravery, I would say, to be able to take his passion a notch higher. It's surely a step in a right direction. But I do feel it's too much of a gamble. And specifically, we being Indians, it's putting us now on the world stage. I think this is the first pageant system coming out of India, and really it needs to have the right ingredients. And as Emma mentioned, 50%, 20% of all these elements make an important pageant. But I think first and foremost, I do believe that pageants, what they used to hold, or the value that they held earlier, which was instant name, fame, glory, uh, probably it does not have that much of a you know elusiveness as it was way back. And that's because of the rise of social media. Now everyone can become a content creator, everyone has a voice, everyone can really come out there and be a celebrity. So the quality of contestants that really believe in the pageant system, I think that's where it starts from. So women who really want to make a change in society and who
Mm.
do feel that this, as Lara Datta mentioned, is a stepping stone or a platform to do so many other things. I think once they believe in that, the quality of contestants come in. That's for me number one. So I do believe that the quality or the girls that come in should really believe that pageantry is important. It's not just that they're hopping systems from one system to the other. So I think that's very important. Another element is the way national directors are chosen, their due diligence. We've seen the case
Absolutely.
of Kunan where a lot of new people came in because they had the money. But then we've seen what kind of dramas they've put in. And even, for example, we've seen Myanmar's national director, right? With Nawaz saying that these are the top five. And he says that every day we are evaluating them. Then how come you've evaluated them through the minutest bit throughout 1 month of the pageant, but then two of them you just dethrone without no reason or because of their behavior. So it just shows that okay, the way national directors are chosen is equally important, and they actually groom the kind of women that would come in. So I do believe national title of the multinational title is important, but having the right set of national directors for Nikhil Anand would be very, very important. Whew.
Absolutely important, because I was going to come to that. You were spot on that. National directors, I mean, the role of it and what vetting process does any of these pageants have? Because I think Myanmar was a shocker. Was actually it was just kind of woke everybody up in the pageant community and organizers, because you what are you judging this? I mean, I can buy the franchise, I can buy that or whatever, I can pay that price to become the national directors, and I have some popularity, and that's enough. Because um, after that, what we saw from Nawaz was that he actually exposed him for everything that he is, even saying that he had an OnlyFans account, which is a shocking, shocking revelation, which he made personally, and he exposed it to us. So then I'm like, if you knew about this, why was he there in the first place? And then all that dramatics happened. So then again, it comes to, just is it just about the money? Cosmo, on the other fact, made it very clear they're a new pageant, they need the finances, they are going to be selling votes, they're going to be obviously creating an image that is not going to be tarnished very easily, because you could see how they managed the first pageant. They had the perfect way of organizing it. The judging was everything which we wanted to see, and we got to see. Now, then again, I am really hoping one thing, Guru. I'm not so happy with the voting thing and these special girls coming in
There's
and
this,
wild cards coming in, and we see Vietnam in the weirdest pageant like in Supranational, who did not deserve to be there. So
even
I
in
don't want.
Charm, suddenly they come from nowhere. They get an unfair advantage. I think
Yeah,
it becomes too business. Yes, it's a good revenue line for any pageant system, but then it shouldn't really be dominating the way things kind of progress. You can have the first entry into the semifinals instead of one, put two, but not at the final stage that suddenly Indonesia or Vietnam come out of nowhere in the top six. That really is very demotivating for the girls, and then even pageant fans would think, Baba, these people are making a popat of us. They're
yeah,
taking
yeah.
us for a ride, and it's not, and it's hard-earned money of people, and it shows that they're passionate about it, but not to cross that line. So yes, it's important, just in the right way. We've seen Kunan do everything is based on votes. National costume is on votes. Then evening, and they put
Hmm.
everything, and they'll start doing voting. Even MJ for that matter. I think it's good to get engagement, but limit it when it comes to the final result. That's
Correct. At least not during the placements. I mean, you want to vote for this,
true.
congeniality or Miss National Costume, that's a different thing. But or Miss Photogenic. I mean, I do miss these preliminary competitions that used to happen. I mean, I remember Aishwarya Rai winning
Yeah,
Photogenic.
all of them except
What happened? I mean, they few of them
everything
happened, but
except for congeniality.
yeah. So, so I miss that. Let it be a competition end of the day. The fans can interact to a certain level, like Guru said. So that makes complete sense. Then cut it off. Then it's just us to wait and wonder and let the girls perform. And the national director should not be given so much of leverage over the girl, the way they have right now, that is ridiculous because I have seen so much of controversies with national directors in every pageant, and we come to know about them, but we can't say who, when, how, where. But the fact is that the girls are being bludgeoned. So the girls are going through a lot of mental, and emotional stress to perform, to be themselves. And there's a lot of demeaning going on, a lot of, that ownership attitude from these national directors, like, I'm the reason you're there. That needs to stop. I think the purpose of a national director should be defined more clearly by the pageant organizers. So I want to see this. And which now should be interesting, Guru, because now we're going to see Cosmo select their own national directors by their own protocols and whatever criteria they have. Because right now, they were all coming in from different avenues from each country. Now it would be interesting to see how they're going to do it. Do you think we're going to see Cosmo come up with a completely different plot line or twist to how they're going to select these national directors as compared to all the other pageants?
I don't know.
Knowing Paula Sugar's there,
What
she knows where they went wrong. So
what I do
I think
feel is that, previous queens make very good national directors. At least that understanding is there. It's not just business. There is a bit of
yes.
exposure and experience. So within the pageant industry, if they have national directors, I think that just adds a bit of reassurance from our end. Another question is, we talked about the fans and limiting the votes, but what do you think vloggers like us should be part of this process as well in some way rather than just having a view on commenting? And then do you think, since we carry a voice of our community, should we be participating more in the selection, or should we just be correspondents or giving our views and giving our two bits?
I see. Here's the thing: is I do believe that pageant vloggers they make a huge impact in the community. Everybody, I mean, if you, there's so many
Positive or
people.
negative, both.
Both,
We've
yeah,
seen.
both. Because and we have seen this that there has been such a negative impact by famous bloggers, and they've been called out by the organization, and they don't get these special passes to go and do cover events and things like that. But I think they do have a responsibility to promote. They are endorsing certain pageants. They are promoting the good things. They're promoting girls. If I would like to see pageant bloggers being vetted properly by organizations and taking on board for whatever way they can actually influence or help promote pageants or even their own country girls. Because I think we have a voice that we share, which is from the opposite view. We are the audience. We are the ones loving you. We're the ones who, are screaming in the crowd that make it possible for you guys to put on a fantastic show. And we're the guys who are encouraging you with that love and that energy. That energy comes from us. If we're not there, there's nothing you're showing. I mean, there's nobody's going to watch you. So I think pageant bloggers should get a little bit of a uplift in some way where maybe we can, it's not like you have to get paid and be part of them promoting them, but give us a voice and respect us as well. And then, yeah, I think we are responsible, like we talk a lot on our show, where we, are responsible to what we say, what we promote, and we bring the community together, not to divide it. And we are the ones who can actually stop the hate. We are the ones that can actually bring the community together because we are at ground level. Being at ground level is very important. So you need to also tap that.
You
And I
know,
think it's a good business enterprise for pageants if they want to.
I was
Um,
talking to a famous, again, fellow pageant vlogger, and we were discussing about the enormous fees hike that the pageant systems have, 43%, 50% increase compared to last year. And I think we as vloggers, I do believe we are the main channels in which people engage. How many people go to, for example, the Miss supranational website, but how many people view our videos, right? So I think for these pageant systems, we are their voice. We are the ones that create the buzz. We create the noise. And I was discussing, maybe even if they give us 0.05% of what these guys are getting at a national director's level, things would be different. But no, we don't get any of that. But that's secondary, but a point to be noted. What about the
Absolutely.
eligibility criteria, Emma? Do you think, what should be the criteria of the women participating?
Okay, this is something I've said women. It has to be women. I do have a issue with non-biological women. I'm going to be very clear with that. So it has to be women. I'm not too peeved about the age. I think you can go up to 35 because I think a woman is amazing and she's absolutely her full bloom till she is, I mean, 60, 70, I don't care. But yes, being more realistic, I think the cutoff should be from 21 to 35. That's being very realistic about it. Being married or not married is irrelevant again. So if she is, fine, she can compete. If she can take on her responsibilities and fulfill all of them, fair enough. So I'm not too bothered about that, but that should not be a crutch or some sort of a cookie point that, oh, I have a baby, I have a husband. It should not matter. It should be irrelevant. Another thing which irritates me a lot is why do people have to mention their sexual preferences? I mean, that should not. It's your choice what you who you are in a relationship with, what you're doing in your bedroom. That should not be advertised to get extra brownie points. That's what I wanted to say. Brownie points. That oh, I am this, so I'm here. I don't. How does that matter? It's your life to be free and do what you want. So that is not an eligibility criteria or a brownie point thing or an extra point that, oh, she is this, or. So
But
that's something
what I do
it should
feel
be
is, I think
irrelevant.
the girls use that as a part of their advocacy. We've seen from, for
Not
example,
always. Remember Miss Thailand?
which
Remember Miss Thailand? I am the one who was curvy. Wasn't she the one who's
21
also
with her nose
hmm, yeah.
until you're Scott. Can
What
you
did what
still?
was her advocacy?
True. What I'm saying is that body positivity was her advocacy, right? So the point is, I think
And she was so underconfident too.
correct, correct. So same we saw with, for example, Philippines, the first, African Filipina, the first black queen from Philippines. Similarly, we had, other pageant queens talking about their thing. So it comes to a very interesting point is that is pageants all business or it's actually advocacy for really making a change in the world? Where is that fine line that one has to balance when it comes to a pageant system? Otherwise, it can sound very businessy where, for example, you've seen Nawat and the queens trying to sell arm popper and do, you're always under targets and pressure of delivering. On the extreme, you've seen Miss World. She goes to high profile events, galas, and gets the right set of voice with the right audiences to basically have auctions and charity galas and collect money for underprivileged people. So you have two extremes, and then Universe comes in selling, their products and Hello Universe and tourism packages and water and cosmetics. So what should be that balance of an ideal pageant?
That is a problem. I don't think advocacies are needed anymore because they're doing nothing about it. I think it's all about business. Is like, okay, you just, talk about something very eloquent and very heartfelt about the world and children and social issues. They don't want to do anything about it. That's a fact. They want to just get popular. It's a stepping stone for their careers or whatever they want to do in their lives. And the organization really doesn't care about charity or anything else because we have stopped the war, and not a penny has gone to any of these wars, any relief, any funding, any food. I mean, even just collect old blankets and send it. And nothing happened from Nawaz. I mean, it's absolute garbage. It's a gimmick. I honestly would like, if you want to talk business, then don't have advocacies. Don't have to stop the war. Don't have all this nonsense. Just keep it what it is. Keep it real. Take away advocacies. Now, there was a time Miss World was doing all of this. Miss World had this thing that you have an advocacy, they would,
Duty
use
with the
you for
purpose.
fortunes and go around and actually make your reign worthwhile. It was talk the talk. How much of it is going to happen in the future pageants? I don't think so because everybody now is in it for the money. This is 2025. What we were seeing, what we saw, and what we fell in love with was 1985 to now was like,
I
I
think
mean,
we're
at
stuck
that
there.
era, huh?
Seem to be stuck there.
Yeah, we're just stuck there. So we keep imagining it to be that, but it's not. So sadly,
Realistic.
um, it's gone. So I would honestly wish don't keep an advocacy. Girls, don't work on it. Don't bother on it. Um, just say, you know what, I want to win. I want to get popular. I want to go into Hollywood. I want to open my business. I want to start some fashion thing. Like I don't know what the hell Arbany did with her advocacy with the clothes and
She has her own
trafficking
line, but
women.
again, it's not to give back. We've seen even, for example, Miss India, Shweta had Atmanirbhar, where how to make people independent. She went to dance schools. I haven't seen anything after that. So they know that this is the way to get stardom, and then they create the advocacy. So I do believe
Lives
the
and
new
legit.
pageant system should not really focus on it. Be
They
real.
should not focus on it.
That's
They
being
should not
authentic.
pressure the girls to have advocacies. They should not pressure the girls to create these videos and all these montages of what they're going to. It's irrelevant because I remember who was that girl, Miss India, Miss during Miss World when Czech won. No, no, the one previous. She was from Hyderabad. What was her name? Forgot her name. She had
Like,
this beautiful advocacy about women's safety. She was working with the police and everything.
yes,
Um,
Manasa
uh,
Varanasi, 987.
yes, that girl put so much of efforts into showing what she wanted to do and how she was doing it. No recognition whatsoever. Why? Because they wanted a certain type of beauty to promote things, promote their business, promote themselves, and it went down. So yes, no advocacies. If you are going to have an advocacy, you're going to have to 100% push that through. You're going to have to see it through and make it worthwhile. Make it worth every effort that girl is doing, not just yapping. Like, I'm sorry, but Sonal had the most weirdest advocacy. like,
Financial
I think she had the
inclusion.
most, yeah, very, very disappointing advocacy. And she had that deer in the headlight look all throughout Mr. International. She had no idea what she was doing. Um, yeah. So it's like she's not, her heart and soul wasn't into it, but we want to talk about stuff. And it's like, don't put these girls through it because you're not interested. They're not interested. Some might be, but some aren't. Just
What
leave
I
it at
do
that.
believe can
You know?
work when it comes to advocacy is talk about your own country, talk about the culture, talk about the traditions. I think that melting pot is something that a pageant can really bring to the world, if I may say. There are very few events that really act as a melting pot of cultures, of countries. And since we're talking of multinational, if we have so many cultures and girls get to know about it, there's so many traditions that I have learned because of just watching Miss Universe,
Hmm.
to obrigada, for example. I didn't know these words. So it's just the diversity element can really work well in a pageant. And there are very few elements around the world where you see mixing of all these cultures. I think that can be stressed on more than any advocacy per se. A related point, Emma, what I also feel is the format should be very clear. You spoke about evening gown and
Hmm.
swimsuit should be there, but it should be very clean, clear, and given in advance to people to prepare. Shouldn't be
Yes.
that the last minute they okay just add on, okay, now we are not having evening gown, now we are having, okay, from 20 to 10, or from 30 to 10, 12. Just be consistent, so we get to know over the years really what is the organization standing up for you know
That is true. They haven't been consistent. That's the problem we're seeing. Consistency has just gone. They just uh, try whatever they want whenever they want. And that's why even with the voting system, again, this comes into play because they're all like, okay, let's make money. And then first Miss Universe was like, we'll post a picture of evening gown, let them vote. Then they said, no, we won't have an evening gown. So then again, because that greed comes in, that madness comes in, like, how can we manipulate? Then the second most
that's why the
irritating thing is
stage that's why the stage
consistency
of
about,
universe is horrible.
yeah, broadcasting the live event. Like,
Oh,
what is
yes.
the problem? Like, I
YouTube
mean,
free,
why
please.
can't you have a YouTube channel? Either you take the subscription from everybody, let us watch it. Finish. Why do you have to twist and turn and change everything? That's probably why the national director of Myanmar and MJ got annoyed because he paid for those votes and she was supposed to place top
Year
two.
year
So
as
you know so again, last minute hangama, last minute drama everywhere. So then we saw drama from people. What about us? Like, what we are the ones trying to watch and
well. No, the
running from
problem
here to
was
there.
they said it's going to be free, but many times when they are giving even to paid, it doesn't work. And then they say, okay, we'll refund it back. Last month they said for Miss Universe, we are doing free from everyone, but then Emma could not watch it. So it's like, please stick to whatever you say, and whatever you say, make sure it works. Because it's panic attack at our end. We get very panicky. So
So that's what happens because they promise something and they change their mind. So I think so when the Myanmar drama came up, we knew something would have been promised to him and it backed out. So he went crazy. So that I mean that's pretty much how we feel because Guru bought the subscription. I didn't, and I ended up actually watching it through his screen on the phone again, and it was like
there's
ridiculous.
communication, communication and make be it consistency. I think
Yeah.
that's very,
We
very
need that.
important.
And you're not only cheating us, you're cheating national directors, and you're cheating like literally everyone, probably even the designers who have given you the costume and you have paid them because a lot of people I've heard that national directors have not paid the designers. They've
True, true,
not
true.
done.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's no evening gown round. Imagine like it's a full industry that works. Why would anyone
Correct,
just give free of charge any costume for people to
correct,
wear? Then we've seen so many of our queens wear, Vietnamese designers without any, even Michael Cinco, for example, was dressing up so many these girls without any payment, right? What is this? This is a PR for them. But if you
correct.
have an evening gown round, there has to be more to understanding of how pageants and fashion is closely related. Which comes to
Mhm.
my next point, Emma. What about the fashion quotient? You've always talked about high fashion when it comes to the way they did. What's your view on that?
I am still disappointed extremely from many, many pageants and the choices of the girls because I don't know whose decisions are these to wear these curtain gowns. Like I said, how much of the national director and how much of, but I realize that national directors play a key role into what the girl is
True.
end up actually wearing. Sometimes it's a hit or a miss, but most time it's the miss because they just want it's all their vision and they don't think about what the girl really wants or her personality. I'm tired of the naked look. I'm sick and tired of the sparkly,
Crystal
glittery.
gown.
One, it's the same silhouette. Every gown has the same silhouette. There was one who wore a ball gown. I remember in Miss World. I think what was her name? I forgot. She was on my list as best
These
evening gown as well. A white ball gown she wore. God, it was a cute girl. She very young, European, I remember. And so, why can't we have classy women? Why can't we have haute couture? Why can't we have classic fashion? What is the problem? Why can't we wear gloves? I mean, where is that glove era gone? I mean, just because we are progressing and we're in 2025, there are certain fashion trends, but certain fashion is timeless. You wear a vintage Chanel or a vintage Valentino, you cannot compare that to the fashion today. I want to see women dressed like women, not like bar dancers. And they actually look like bar dancers and half naked. I'm so fed up with Thailand wearing that skin color, sparkly, almost
Colombia as well. Yeah, Colombia as well.
all of them. I mean, it's like, why are they doing that? I think Rachel Gupta brought it on this time with the Indianized look because which we wanted to see. That was also a very sparkly thing, but it covered her perfectly. It wasn't provocative. It was absolutely ethereal. That's okay. It works. It worked with that. But I don't think I saw any. I mean, Denmark I love, but her gown was so horrible. I think the evening gown round in Miss Universe was absolutely terrible. It was horrifying. I couldn't find anything that that worked. So, I want to see a change in fashion. I want to see people, girls, national directors, fashion designers,
More
you
risks.
know,
Take more risks.
and
Yeah, take more risks.
step it up a bit. And less is more system is not so good. You want to wear something poofy, wear it. I think it looks wonderful. Bring the 80s fashion back. I love it. So, and I'm
Talking of
tired of people.
talking of the whole regality and the royalty and the fashion quotient, what about the royal crown? What are your
Hmm.
views on the crown? Should there be a consistent crown, or should it be the case where, like, for example, Miss Universe has changed this crown, the Julmer crown, I think it's called, and it's only going to be for 2 years from 2025. 2026 will be some other
Yeah,
crown.
why is that? Again, money, endorsing, promotion. So these guys are like, okay, you can show your crown for 2 years. That makes, you are playing with your branding. You're taking risks with your branding of a legacy of a pageant. That is wrong. Why? Okay, the fact that even in our voting and our pageant crew is voting, Miss World won the best crown.
Mm.
Why is that there? Not because it's a legendary crown, because it's an iconic symbol of Miss World. You see that crown, you know it's Miss World. Now, if you show me like from the last 10 years all the crowns, I'm like, oh, okay, is
Bit
that Miss? I
confused.
initially did not know Miss Universe changed the crowns in between when I was not watching. I was on a spiritual retreat. Guru remembers that. So when the new crown comes, I'm like, which crown is that? When did this come? Because I actually switched off from the world. So why is that? When there was an iconic crown, you stick to it. So I'm hope, and I know this crown will be changed. Nawaz's crown, pretty much the same. It works for him. The green, the gold green thing, it's lovely. It sticks around there. We saw a change in international. We saw a change in, was it supranational?
Even
Supranational has the same color.
supranational, everyone has gone for a change.
Everyone changed, yeah.
Change for the right reason, but not for a business commercial angle.
You know, they don't think
The
much.
big crown
I
was
don't.
removed because it was too heavy, and the girls, the winners, actually complained that they've got
Hmm, hmm.
dents on their forehead. And the other crown, which was the Mickey motor, was too delicate and it fell and it was difficult to repair. So those are genuine reasons that you want to invest in a crown that is
So,
sturdy and hardy, but not that, defined their years, predefined their years. So I think that's one.
so that's again when the gimmicks come in, force for good, force. Come on, you don't need that. I mean, why is Miss World? Then again, that sort of it's not a tiara, it's a crown. So technically, that is a crown. Everything else is a tiara. What we saw in Miss Cosmo is amazing because it's a crown, and they were two very beautiful, huge, elaborate, and it's going to stick around for a while. I don't think I want to see that crown change for a long time because it had that element of Europas and what do you call it, supernovas. I think it's supernovas, but it has that cosmic theme. So I would be very happy to see that crown for the next 10 years at least. I wouldn't get bored of it. So yeah, I think Miss Universe needs to sort themselves out because we're gonna keep on seeing new crowns and it's just boring. Um,
We're talking of Miss Universe, right? So I think very important is the role of the translators. I think we or any new pageant system should have very well qualified translators and not bludgeon the answers of contestants who worked really hard. We've seen the case of Miss Venezuela. We saw the case of Miss Russia at Earth last time, where she just started talking of whatever answers she had mugged up because the
hmm.
translator was not confident. I think that's very important. Even the host, for that matter, we've seen a couple of pageants where the hosts are terrible. You want to have a host which really is clear, conversational, and knows the language. Even in Miss Universe India,
Correct me if
when
yeah, very,
there
very
was
true. Correct me if
there was a Filipino
but
and Vietnamese when Ria Singha won. Why were
hmm.
there these the main hosts were from some other country and they didn't know how to even pronounce the names of the girls. So I think they need to prep up as well equally, because they carry the
So
show. It's important.
wasn't there like a contract, like I don't know which organization, but the translators, they're from these linguistic
Right.
universities and colleges, and they're tied up that they are
Precision
certified in
Translating
that.
Services is the longest
Yeah.
running Miss. They had a tie-up with Miss Universe, and we've seen many good answers being translated into excellent answers because of the fact that they were well qualified.
People
Don't
don't realize the seriousness of a translator, and I think the organization themselves should have a set of translators, and it's very easy to organize something like that. It is not rocket science. When the girls are, way before they come to the venue, you know how many are going to need one, and you organize it. It is just simple math. It is
yeah,
not that difficult, and I think they overlook it, or maybe they just don't give too much importance to it. I think that's
or
ridiculous. I
maybe
mean, it involves the
what
girls,
they can do is that they can actually have the hosts or the choice of the host when they select a host should know a couple of other languages as well. Spanish is something that's widely used in pageant in community, and it's important that if you have a host that knows both languages, it's helpful. I've seen a couple of cases where the judges are translating for to the other judges to explain what
Mm-hmm.
the what the answer is. So I think that's very important, that element of hosting and translators. What about the timing of the final show? How many
Okay,
hours can it go?
I don't think it should exceed more than 2.5 hours, to be honest. I love the
Hours.
fact that,
I like 3 hours is good enough. I think uh, what's
yeah.
happened is because of YouTube, you can go forever. And I think that's
Hmm.
the reason why they stretch to 7, 8, 9 hours. But if it's or aired on television, I think that's where things become very, very tight in terms of timelines, getting making sure that you know
But then if you saw Miss Cosmo, it was 2.5 hours done. It was quick, quick, quick. I mean, see, the thing is, they want to make the money with these little things in between and going on showing these ads of the sponsors, Mapaloska,
Oscar.
Mapaloska, and then something, the tourism of that country and all the cultural, whatever. I mean, it's fine, but and I think that's why they don't want to kind of bring it on the television. They don't want to kind of sell the rights to any broadcasting people properly because
Talking
they'll
of
limit it.
Oscar,
Hmm.
what about your view on the pageant staying in one country or the venue? Do you think an international pageant should be roaming around across various venues, or like Malaploska should continue? How do you get the
The
international flavor?
See, if the pageant is established and has that sort of resources to kind of organize in other countries, because there's a lot of logistics involved in it. I don't think the Mapaloska people have that sort of connections or even a network to expand beyond there. Because if you look at the stage, it all looks like one shady auditorium. That entire thing looks like the introduction is like one stage and like tables and chairs and this. I mean, it's very um it's quite mediocre. It's a very mediocre pageant. It is extremely like when I see whatever that we see, it's just
But quality
they
of
have no
production has
capacity
nothing
to
to
even
do.
take it to another city in their own country, I think,
I
let
think
alone to
quality of production
another.
is different from the venue. You should invest in the quality of production because that's where
They
they,
are not even
you know,
doing that. Keep it whichever city they're doing it in, they're getting endorsements of money. Even there, it's boring. Nothing is actually seen amazing. Sometimes they have the swimsuits in some other locations and whatever, but it is still very, very mediocre. It is not what we want to see in a pageant. So that pageant, I don't think have the ability or the capacity to move out and organize it in another country. Because I don't think they have won the hearts or the trust or that eagerness for other countries to be like, okay, come here and let's just do it, and yeah, we'll get some promotion for our country. I think they're only worried about Mapaloska. They're not bothered about any other country coming. Like, would they want to promote tourism in Vietnam? I don't think so, although they sold votes to Vietnam and she made it. But no, I don't think they would want to.
talking of visibility, I also believe that the CEOs or the executive leadership of the pageants should take a backseat when it comes to any pageant system. We've seen
Hmm.
a sudden rise ever since Anne has come to be the crown, to wear the crown, to be in the
Hmm.
limelight. And then Raul Rocha is again the same. We've seen Nawat also the same. It's become as if we are the face of the pageant. It's the queen who is the face of the pageant. We've seen the likes of Julia Morley. We've seen the likes of Paula Sugar who've taken a backstage. Doesn't mean
Hmm.
that they are any way less important, but they've let the women shine. They've let them actually feel that they've empowered some queen in their life. That's why these queens also they vouch for these women. We've seen people speak so highly of Paula Sugar. They're speaking so highly of Julia Morley, even after their reigns. And I think that's the legacy that they have
Yeah,
built.
they create a relationship, a repertoire that is, um, very human-like. It's a human connection they need. They don't want a manager managing them, and that's what Conan's been doing. And we see a lot of nonsense behind that. We also hear a lot of fun stuff coming from Raul. But the thing is that again, in pageants, Guru, I think the fact is you need to understand you're also giving this girl a launch pad to achieve her dreams and her
And they are also
endeavors.
smart enough. Now they know this is the way to get stardom. I'll do this.
It's
I
like
just feel right now, Raul is treating Miss Denmark as a trophy. Is the
yeah,
trophy
they all
queen.
do.
It's so then is this what we want out of pageants?
Because if you see Rachel, she comes alive and when she just won and she was saying, I'm working like 12 hours a day. I need 9 hours of sleep. And she was grumbling and she was sad and she was eating. And then she's like, I don't get to sleep. And at 3 o'clock, she's back. And then 5 o'clock, she's up. So, what
That's the
limit are you?
pressure. That's the pressure that they've put on
Pressure.
girls that you have to be a business making money minting machine, and
That's not
that's
how
not
it works.
empowering to women.
This is abuse because I'll tell you, I was, before I quit the corporate world, I was working for a law firm. And what happens there, if the lawyer's awake at 8, at 2 o'clock in the morning and he's messaging you and emailing you, you got to be up and you got to work with whatever he wants to do because it's irrelevant to your life and what is good for you and what is humanely proper for anybody. Where's the compassion? Where is the understanding? No, there isn't. So
Mm.
I saw that. And I'm like, so they don't get it. Like, you're on a payroll. If I'm up emailing you at 2 a.m., you got to respond. You got to get on it. So that is ridiculous. So we see in the corporate world, and I know you guys might
Corporate world
understand
is
this,
different. Here these girls know that they are in the limelight.
but this is what's Guru, because
They're getting.
what's happening here is they are the life is being sucked out of them, not for what they want, but we have given you the crown, so we're going to use you as we want, and we're going to like
The
drain
same
you
thing which
out. It's
happens at national
like a
directors level.
dementor.
No?
You end up becoming depressed and sad, you know.
The same thing which
So
happens with the case of national directors as well. When they choose a queen, it's like, I have given you this opportunity to win the crown, and now you're at my beck and call. And alluding to Miss Sushmita Sen's one interview in which, she just felt the weight of India after
mm,
winning, that she has to be the right representative of India. And then she, I think, had chicken pox as well during her reign, but she was really working. And the universe team used to say that, okay, you'll need to step down if this happens. And she was like, she continued working till 8 months. And after that, she realized her own value. And then she said, okay, find another Miss Universe. That took 8 months for
mm,
her to realize that what she is enough. She doesn't need to be pulled down like this.
mm,
And yes, you've given me the title, but then I have given you so much more back. So to Rachel
mm.
as well, I think you're doing an excellent job. Don't get
Yeah,
flustered by what other people think or what other countries or their pageant fans think should be the results. You are the right winner, and period. Simple.
exactly. Because I mean, it's such a cutthroat industry. Girls are, you know, going
Wait,
after their own. We
yeah,
saw that
correct.
with Miss France, just trying to just doing anything to put her down. Where is your compassion? I mean, I think a lot of thing has to get upgraded, especially the consciousness level of everybody involved, and the girls need to speak up. And I don't think you need to be pressured into or get manipulated into being something in your life, or whatever. You want to be an actress, you want to start your own enterprise,
Interesting point.
this,
I
whatever it is,
you
it does not have to come at cost, you know?
Interesting point,
So,
Emma. You talked
and
about
to a
speaking
point
your
where, I
mind.
mean,
You spoke about speaking your mind. However, many of these girls are put under NDAs and contracts. What's your view on that?
I think that is ridiculous because it should be only valid for a year during her reign. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, sort of a system. After that, she's free. She's not owned by any organization, and she goes through so much. And they,
And
I
not to
mean, we have
such, not to such owners, no. I can
not
imagine
to
if it's the
such,
right
yeah. I mean,
person,
come on, you want to be owned by the right person, not by this. I mean, you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, that is ridiculous. You are free. You're a woman. You can speak your mind, and if there's something wrong, talk about it. And a lot of, I mean, I remember with another one I love is Pia Wordsworth when she was going through so much of trauma. She just kept it all in. It was so difficult for her to go through what she did. But, it was, and we know for a fact she still is not able to completely open up with whatever that went on. She's able to share what she could. We don't know what all happens in the dark side of it. We saw Hanaz go through that. We have seen, I mean, it was, there's one more queen, I think, who had like, I can't remember. Miss Teen America. Yeah, yeah, the mother who spoke up. Yeah, remember that?
no.
There was this controversy that was going on with the escorts and nonsense. That happens, and the girl are like, okay, it's business. I gotta just keep my mouth shut. I've got the crown, so they make you burdened. The crown is not something to be celebrated. You get burdened by it. That should not be the energy of winning a
Mm.
competition, a beauty pageant. That is all gone askew from what it used to be. So, yeah, now the focus is no more in the children of Africa, relief Africa. Now it's all gone into completely other things. So I do
How do
wish
we how do
things
we make
change
this
a bit.
sexy
I
then?
do wish.
What I've seen is that right now everything which is glamorous, the show production, all that is great. But then pageants still have to make money. and we still need to make all these charitable causes look sexy enough for people to watch them. You know, which is where I'm not clear what the answers are, but guys, you can comment as well. The the challenge here is that whatever is really going to make an effort or an impact is no longer supposedly cool. How can we make charity, organizing or giving back cool? How can we make money out of good things or doing good things for others? What about after the contest? People put a lot of effort on the event, the stage, the production value. But then after that, what is the strategy of collaboration, of PRs, of being at the right places at the right time, getting that mileage throughout her year? Otherwise, it's just a competition that she's won and then you go back home. Why do you even stay in one apartment? How do we leverage the Queen's era to really build good equity for any new pageant? I think that's another element that we should be thinking about.
The problem arises here again, like, okay, what was the prize money allocated to these girls? I think there was 1 million in Cosmo, and there's a certain amount that goes directly to the charity, which we saw. This check was given to the charity of, whatever that was
Mm.
chosen. And of course, the advocacies, I think, was plastic, and that she was making these bracelets or something, and that proceeds were going to clean up the ocean thing, which I absolutely loved. So there was money visibly showing that, okay, whatever the chunk is, whatever we made, you made, we made, that part of it is going to a charity. So that completed it. Fine, that's fair enough. You want to make money, we want to make money. There's ways to do it. When you see game shows like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and a celebrity goes on it. So like whatever money he earns, that goes to charity of his choice. So there's so many angles and twists to do it. You can do it. I'm not saying that the organization should make money. Make your money. Make it open, and let the girl get something as well. What are the prizes? I remember Miss World. She would get shoes and bags and costumes, and then she would get like perfumes and stuff. All these organizers would give these queens gifts. It would be shown on the television what they were getting. There's a certain amount of beauty in that. There's a graceful sort of an etiquette that, okay, the girl is respected for winning that pageant, and there's a certain amount of exposure she can do for her charity, and the organization will support it. Number one thing is, in today's world, sadly, don't have charities, don't have anything. You don't want to give anything to them, we know that. Eliminate that. Just keep it what it is, and at least give her some prize money, that, okay, as soon as the reign ends, she has something to put in the bank, she has something to look forward for her future. Just make it just a prize money, finish, that's it. Why advocacies? Why all this? Whose sentiments are you playing on? What are you achieving by that? Nothing. And if you look at
Like
the organizers, you see the
CSR,
organizers name.
we've seen the likes of even corporates talking about CSR and sustainability. I think it's just
Hmm.
to feel right that they're doing right in a corporate world where everything is based on money. How do we add a
Yeah,
philanthropic angle to
it's
this
a
and
it's a
somehow
fake facade.
sanitize
Yeah,
ourselves of not being very corrupted by
it's a
money?
yeah, it's a fake facade just to show that we care when you don't care. So it's just don't show. We don't need you to care. We don't need your, this is not the kind of money people want. If that's your intention or that's your mentality, trust me, even the charities don't want it. Sometimes they just put on a charity to hide taxes or get tax exemptions of
True.
donating to charities. So there's a whole lot of stupidity behind it, and very manipulative, malicious things goes on. Hell with it. Stop the charity, stop the advocacy, give us a beauty
Stop the
pageant with
charities,
the
stop
right
the war.
format, with the right judge. Stop, stop, stop the nonsense. I would say, Emma says, stop the nonsense of beauty pageants and just give us a fair beauty pageant to watch, enjoy, support, and promote. And of course, why can't there be back-to-back winners? Oh, she won this year, she can't be again this year. She can't. All that nonsense shouldn't go, because everybody, somebody is, oh, she knows this person, that's why she came in. Oh, because this came in, that came in. That's why the voting system I don't like, for these wildcard placements and all that nonsense. All that should stop. So, and if you have, honestly, like if Guru and I had a pageant, and if we had the time, I would say, not the resources, but the time, I think you and I would have handled it very, very differently. I would have probably had a section for young girls who could get scholarships, or maybe It would be something like maybe somebody wants to join a firm or somebody wants to get into something. So maybe, yeah, we give them a little money to get into a university or a college, a medical college, a law school. So many things to promote a woman and a girl in the right direction of her future goals. That's what I would have probably wanted, and maybe support them in that. Um, there's so many billion ways of making money the right way through the right avenue and also helping out a girl who has dreams for whatever it is.
Agreed.
So, and it's
It's like
scientific.
during
I'm a
Donald Trump's era, because that time, film line was very, very lucrative. We used to have from New York Fashion and Film Institute, they used to give these courses to the women, the winners, right? And they used to make sure that they will be in some TV commercial or
They
some,
would also get like a little cameo in a movie or a endorsement for some big brand. Why can't you do that? Put her on a platform to, okay, there you go live, go dream, bro. You can do so much.
I think a
It's
good
not
amount of market
difficult
research will help,
for a pageant.
to understand what these girls want.
Who?
Let what these girls want, if we
Yeah.
can do a market research or customer research of what really inspires them and be that leg between or the
Hmm.
stepping stone or the bridge to get them there. And in between, they
Hmm.
are also a queen for a year because the queen, the responsibility is for a year. But then after that, what? We've seen so many winners after their reign just don't know and then they fall back.
Absolutely.
Then it's a stepping
Absolutely. You know
stone
what I would have
to
done,
what
Guru, if we had
to
a pageant? Exactly. I don't want an advocacy. I want to know your dreams, why you want to win, and what winning will help you achieve in your life. Not being a queen. What is, but that's just stepping stone. Being a queen is a stepping stone in the direction you want to be. Because we had nurtured a queen who had no idea what she wanted to do after winning a crown. She just wanted to wear the crown and she had no idea about her future goals. This is what I would do in a pageant, Guru. The girls, they would have to not give an advocacy but a personal resume to what is their dream and what they want to do after winning the crown. That direction would be how we would aid them with either money or through sponsors or whatever connections we have. That is going to be important. Then charity, if our organization has money, we personally give that money to whatever charity we choose. It's not responsibility of the girl to put it in her advocacy or create a fake advocacy just to be noticed that I have compassion, I am blah blah blah. So
spot
for
on.
me, it's like, huh?
And I think that very thing can be actually put to the sharks, where she talks about not how probably she's going to save the world or
Yeah,
stop the
yeah,
war
they can be
or stop the,
added sharp.
but
Correct,
that time she
correct.
puts how she, as a resource, as a human being, can actually or has the capabilities to do this, and probably that could be the final, you know.
Because there was this girl I know. She was from a small village in India, and then she really studied hard, and she got a scholarship at Harvard, and she went to Harvard Law School. So because of the fact that she really was hardworking, and so Harvard did see something, and that is where you come in. How do you help them move ahead in life? None of these pageants are actually helping these girls move ahead in life. It's like, because some of the girls don't even know that, because they've been so brainwashed that, oh, it's just the crown. They just see the crown. I want to be the crown, wear the crown, and after that, it's all gone puss. So that's another thing which I say, Guru. Do you know how many Indian queens have been so successful because they've used their brains, and they know after winning, and after the famous queens that have won have actually achieved amazing compared to the other queens that I know. I mean, look at Priyanka Chopra, look at Aishwarya Rai, look at Shishmita Sen, look at Lara Datta. I mean,
Like they're
wow,
businessmen. She said, now that
they
you
have,
enter
because they
politics
know
to be
they will
entrepreneurs,
get
you could be in the army.
blindsided. Yeah.
That's not the only thing that they have, right? That one should not live and get stuck on.
That's what
Life,
happens with these girls. They get stuck by it and they get so drowned by that madness and that obsession with winning and being
they
that
keep
perfect.
jumping from one pageant system to the other.
Yeah,
They
they
just
just
need the
that
crown.
that's yeah. What is this nonsense of jumping from I didn't win here, so I'm gonna try there. If I didn't win, I'm gonna try. Stop.
There should be
Shh.
a limit to, I think, the jumping. They should not, if it's like if you've not won a pageant for 2 years, you should not be able to compete like Miss South Africa. And then if you still really feel it, then you're allowed. That means it's really something that you are ready to persevere. Not
Hmm.
that, okay, not this year. If I've come first runner up, I'll move there. I'll keep trying. Move on in life. There are other things that you can't say
I,
winning the pageant is my life goal. That's not the way it
no,
is.
I remember even Aishwarya once, she was like, I want to go in Bollywood. Everyone had this thing, I want to go to Bollywood. Priyanka Chopra, I want to go to Bollywood. Shushmita Sen, yes. And they all went everywhere. They, I mean, movies and Hollywood and oh my God, singing careers. And they had an agenda. Girls, this is the problem, Guru. Most of the girls I see, the pageant girls going on, they don't have a future agenda. They think it's just pageantry. They're so drowned and, they're subsumed by
And
all that
especially
pageantry thing is
now,
just there.
and
I mean,
especially
the
now,
matrix of pageant, what?
since the age limit has gone and become widened. Now earlier it was okay, after 28 I cannot. Now let me think. Now even like at 40 they'll think, okay, I can still give it a chance. So don't
But
know.
utna hi hai. Matlab, my question is, that's it? Got the crown, that's it? I'll buy you a crown and give you you get replicas, just wear it. Yeah, I know. I mean, just buy a crown and wear it. How does it matter? I mean, the thing is, girls, think beyond the box, okay? Think beyond this pageantry crown box
I
and
want to be in the 10th standard.
understand
I want to be in the 10th standard. I want to be in the 10th standard. Like, hello, there's going to be a class 12, there's going to be college, you have to
there's
see
gonna be,
where you're heading.
they're gonna be like, you're gonna have hormone issues, you're gonna have hot flashes, you're gonna have health issues, you're gonna have to have money for having a good health insurance, you're gonna have to have a house, a car. What is your future? Do you want a family?
I
Do you want
think
to
all
live
of us,
independent? Have money?
we really
Have a
don't know
comfortable
what our purpose here is. Why are we here on this planet? I think
life?
that's a question we really have to. It's it's purpose, right? Why are we here? Are we here to just enjoy our life? Are we here to do something for others? And that's what Emma said. It's not, maybe you don't want to do for others, you want to do for yourself, but be clear on what you want to do. I think people are right now very unclear as to what they want to do. And because of the pageant systems, the way they position themselves as, masihas of today's world, because they also are coming under existential crisis, I think it's important to, at every level, that clarity should come that, okay, we are a business or a for profit organization, but we are helping people as well because we like to connect with people who are successful. Just the thought that I want to be
True.
with successful people. And
True.
I want to interest myself because the more I deal, it's the company that you keep, right? That could be enough, but be clear on that.
Yeah, absolutely true. Guru, I think here the problem is what you pointed out is like we can't just keep blaming the organization and the community. The fact is these girls are limited by their dreams, limited by their aspirations. They don't know what's next. It's just like blindsided. Oh, this is it, and that's ultimate. After that, what? If you feel getting the crown will get you a good partner in life, male, female, whatever, you want to get married, settle down, live together, whatever, and that's it. What next? I mean, I have a bucket list. Every year I have a bucket list. Like, I'm going to do this. And my life has been very unconventional. My life has not been traditional at all. But I do have these little tiny achievements every year. They're not resolutions, they're things I aspire to do, aspire to become, and or desire to feel or experience, right? So these are little things. What are you really living? You're starving yourself. You're going through so much of stress to be this perfect image of a beauty queen. And then what? So that's where I am confused. I think the girls also need to kind of think. I think they need to also
So they
start
should not
updating
just go under
themselves.
the rat race, especially now at a time where every pageant is in a bit of flux. There's no, we don't know where this entire pageant system is moving towards. Is it Miss Universe and the likes, Miss World and it's like, but there's no Miss World. I don't know when it'll happen. Or it's like a business where it's show business when it comes to grand, or it is like Miss Earth. So girls, just hold on and just take a deep breath and see, do you really want to be part of a rat race? Because at the end of that, you're still a rat, right? What is it that you really, really hard desires? And
Absolutely.
not going to take, it's not going to be easy finding that because there's so many distractions when we look at social media, when we look at what our peers are doing, what our relatives are doing, what other pageant systems are doing. Oh my God, I may be missing out on this. It's just very chaotic. But there is hope. And that hope comes from within each one of us. And yes, we want to imagine the perfect future of pageantry, but maybe there will never be a perfect future. But there will be purpose. And the pageant gurus always have a single minded purpose, which is just pageant us crazy. And what does that mean? It means very simply that please relax, take it easy. We are going to have fun. So don't take any pageant system so seriously that it starts affecting you. Don't take anyone's advice so seriously that you get derailed from what your heart tells you to do. Just enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. Remember something that you are guided by the universe. You have no idea where your destiny is. You
The
don't know what.
world,
Listen,
the
I
universe.
don't think. Yeah, I mean, and most of you girls don't realize that you all have a destined, you know, a destined future. And the thing is, you may not know about it now, but it will be revealed. If something is a roadblock, that means you're being diverted on something else. Have an open mind, have an open heart, and also grow. I mean, don't be so restricted. You are actually, you're in a bondage of this desire, of this obsession, of this crown thing. It doesn't have to be that. It has to be that and more. It has to be so much more. Life is so much more. So just bloom, learn to bloom and grow, whether you win, whether you don't, it does not matter. Jumping from pageant to pageant is, I just always find it very, very funny. Oh, she was there last year, that's what she won, and she would admit it, that's what she won. I'm like, okay, fine. But then what next? I don't see what next from girls to do this. I have not seen a what's next. I've not seen them achieve anything great. I mean, if I have to see, like, many girls in our Indian pageants, I mean, they didn't win, but yeah, they went on to live happy lives, doing what they want. They have personal businesses, or they're working with their husbands in some business, or they have a happy life being a housewife or something, but they feel fulfilled. You're not going to feel fulfilled if you're just going to be like the crown, the crown, the crown.
True. And in
Get
fact,
that, get rid of, yep,
the
cut that
FOMO
out.
is even more if you win the crown, because after 1 year, you don't know what to do. It's a rise from here to here. In fact, Demi Lee Nell Peters, Miss Universe 2017, has written a book on this, which is I think the crown that lasts, where she talks about her anxiety that once she gave up the crown, there was no security. They just told her to leave, and she didn't know what life had in store. And I think that's where her spiritual journey began, of understanding that I don't need validation from anyone. It's not the crown. I need to find a crown that is going to be there always on her head. So cheers to that.
True, true. I mean, when we saw Luciana, I forget her name, when she gave up the crown, she was crying miserably. Can I stay another year? Here's what I feel I'm doubting is, like, I don't know what she's going to do after that, because that 1 year was doing things that she was told to do, what she enjoyed doing. Because I don't know what we're going to see next from her. Does she have something she wants to achieve for her country, or does she want to do something beyond, in the Western world or something? I don't know what happens, because they get so bound by just that little dream and that fun, you know, journey they go through.
Right.
And then I think we'll never hear from Luciana what she's going to do. I mean, that's the thing. We need to see what's next. You have to have that thing. Sports stars retire. They achieve whatever they do and they retire, and they're like, yeah, I've lived. Now I'm gonna, like, finish my. Football players have to retire, but at what, 32, 33, and that's pretty much the shelf life they have after that. So what next? Everybody has to have what next, and I think these girls have to rethink everything, and also all the decisions they make and the thoughts they have, because I think that's where it goes all crazy, and then that gives rise to people manipulating them more, using them more, putting them in that, and then they are okay with that abuse. It's that Stockholm syndrome. Like, you are captive, but then you're happy with that, and then you're like, no, that's
I
all
think
I can
also at a very
get up.
impressionable age, 18 to 20, 21. I think with the age norms now widening, I think we'll have more women trying to believe that, okay, this is a big scam that's happening at various levels. And they really need to shake things up and not just take things
I think
subserviently.
true. The current generation has weakened. I'm going to be very honest. The current generation has weakened. We being Indians, at the time we were 10, what do you want to be when you become big? It was like, what are you going to be? I'm like, I'll be a doctor. My brother was, I'll be a pilot. I didn't be a doctor, but my brother was close to what he did, and I was completely diverted to another direction. But I followed my passion. So we always are, these values are inculcated in us at a very, very young age, but I think it's important. When you do pageantry, that's perfectly fine. So let's say I got into pageantry, even though I had my direction, perfectly fine. They don't have, and I've seen these young children, 10-year-olds on pageantry, mothers pushing them. That is like horrible. I don't want to see a 10-year-old provocatively provocatively walking in heels and gyrating and moving her hips around and with makeup, doing pageants at that age. That's
Spoke
not
about
that.
heels. Heels
I just find that so
mandatory.
disturbing. Like I can't imagine if I had a child, would I allow that? No, she needs to be herself. Let her be what she wants. I would, if I had a daughter, I would want her to be a football player. Let me be very honest. And then if she wanted to pageantry, that's a different thing. But then what is going to be a goal after that, right? So,
What is your
yeah.
view
Oh my
on
God, I
heels?
think we've spoken a lot.
What's your view on heels?
What's my view on?
Heels. You said heels.
I'm always very amused by heels. Unfortunately, I have stopped wearing heels after my spine surgery. But I think I heels are fine, but I don't like that toe sticking out.
Yeah.
That there's this particular sandal that they all wear because it gives a real good height and they have a good control on their walk with the elevation and everything. But that toe sticking out, no. Remember the platform heels Aishwarya Rai wore, which was the ballet shaped with the platforms. I love that classic heels. Why can't they come back? I don't like the sandal looks, the toes sticking out, and some are ridiculously high because their girls are not very tall, so they wear it. But I don't know. I mean, it looks fine. I would love to see pretty shoes and pretty ballets, honestly. This extreme high heels gives me anxiety because I'm like thinking she's gonna fall, and I always do say that in live reactions, like, oh my
I
God.
know we are short of time, but one more point is on swimsuits. What's your view on the one piece, two piece, bikini? Should they be same? Should be multicolor? What's your view on that?
First thing, no capes, okay? Ditch the capes. And I would want the swimsuits to be, designed by a good designer and not something that is just randomly done to copy another pageant. Because I remember when Miss Universe did the metallic, many did the metallic as well to try to get into that thing. I mean, be original. I think the big
I feel in 1997, when Diana Hayden won the swimsuit award, I think that can be part of bringing the cultural elegance of their country into a swimsuit. So it could be fashion
I
and
think that
culture.
that could be, yeah, I think that would be amazing. But then what happens is like, what if a girl doesn't come from a country that can't afford
And
another,
let her
good
decide what she wants.
designer to give her?
See, let her decide, or she has enough time to make sure that she wears something that she's confident in wearing and is respectful to her culture rather than coming here and then getting into these burkinis which look like garbage bags, you
Yeah,
know.
because I hated what they did with Lujania in Miss Pakistan with that garbage bag they gave her. She's a young girl. They gave her a black garbage bag to wear. I agree on that. I think they can also do like national costume, bring your own swimsuit, and then yeah, end of story. And that can also be a designer award. And I do remember Miss World would also have a designer award where they would wear creations from designers and they would be a fashion award. I forgot what it was called. And the designer would be acclaimed as well. So that was good. So I do want some old elements to come back. Definitely, I think the swimsuit would be fun. But if they're having a sponsor for the swimwear, then it should be thought of, well thought of.
Hmm.
Understanding the girls, understanding
Girls should
the
feel that they
cultural.
have a fair chance, just not for the sake of wearing, they have to wear it, but then they know in terms of moving and progressing ahead in the competition, that's not going to happen.
No, yeah, I
I
think
think
it
that's
is because
that's important.
I did like the Cosmo girls where they had the I think one of them was this skin tight bodysuits. Also, MGI skin tight bodysuits in Indonesia. Beautiful. So that designer was spot on. He brought it on. I mean, so they can be done if the design's thought of well, but sometimes, like this time, it was a bit of a disaster. I did not like the Miss Universe thing. It's too dull. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we've covered a lot, and this is going to be a fun year ahead. I know it's a little slow within the pageant community, but there's going to be a whole lot of controversies coming up, I'm sure,
In fact, tomorrow
because we
there is a competition tomorrow. Miss Tourism, something is happening tomorrow.
I have heard of Miss Tourism, and yeah, I'm just like, you gonna watch it?
If it comes live, we'll see. We'll see, guys. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's been
we'll
quite
see how it
interesting.
is. But because we have some fun gossips we're gonna share in our upcoming episodes as well, because there has
Yes,
been
there's
some.
something that really
Um,
stirred us up.
we
Required.
really want to like give you a proper analysis on that. bit by bit, and we don't want to rush through it because that's really some ridiculous thing that happened, and you all guys know about it. But we would be coming up with an episode, and then yes, hopefully we have some pageant news updates, and we'll have a pageant news bulletin coming up soon, in which we'll cover up some upcoming stuff and some gossips and whatever. So, well, thank you for watching us, and of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified on our upcoming videos, and of course, follow us on Instagram because our reels are going viral, guys, and we're setting a trend. So, well, for then now, take care, have fun, have a beautiful, fun, warm weekend wherever you are because it's freezing where I am. So, stay warm, sweethearts, and stay safe. Take care. Shukriya.
Yeah.